Amazing. Good morning. Okay, so we're in the middle of talking about the pasuk in the first halukah of Ashrei She'el Yaakov Be'ezroi. Right, praiseworthy is those who trust or hope in the God of Yaakov Avini. Sivrei al Hashem Elikov. Right, place your trust in Hashem. Oiseh Shemayim Ba'aretz, the creator of the sky and the land, Es Hayam Ve'es Kol Asher Bam, and everything in the water. Hashem Emes La'olam. Hashem keeps His promises. Okay, so we spoke a little bit in the last video about the Radak, right? He was talking about why did we mention Yaakov? Because Yaakov did something very special, right? Yaakov had a struggle. He was running away from Esav, and he was going to Lavan. Lavan was supposed to save him. Lavan gave him his food, gave him drink, a place to sleep. Yet he was able, Yaakov, to be, even though he was walking and doing his ishtadlus in the moment, right? He kept the bitachon in his heart and trusted in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I heard an interesting story or a mashal about bitachon from Rabbi Joey Haber yesterday. My mother sent me. He goes, once upon a time, there were two guys. One of them was digging the hole, the other one was filling it. Digging and filling, digging and filling, digging and filling. A third guy comes over, another guy goes, what are you guys doing? He goes, well, I'm digging the hole, and this guy's taking the dirt and putting it back in. He goes, yeah, I could see that, but are you crazy? But for what? What for? He goes, you see, usually there's a third person with us. I dig the hole, the guy puts the seed in, and this other guy puts, covers it back up. The guy who usually puts the seed in is not here today. So we're still doing our work. That's the story. What do we learn from here? He goes, so Joey said, the seed is our bitachon, right? That we need that in-between guy, right? You could dig and fill up, dig and fill up, dig and fill up, work and do ishtadlus and work and do ishtadlus and chase and do this and do that. But if you don't put that seed in the middle and that realize that everything comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then you're just working for no reason. Then everything you do is in vain. And you're not really paying attention to how the world works. You want to live that life of peace of mind and serenity, and be able to feel happy. You need to have that bitachon. You need to be able to put the seed in between all the work. So Yaakov was doing just that. He was able to recognize that Lavan is just an hishtadlus. When you continue reading into the Radak, the next pasuk of Oiseh Shemayim, right? We spoke about how HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right, controls the people, the birds, the skies, the fish, and everything inside. He continues and he says, "V'hu Hashemer emes la'olam," right? That's the last word of the pasuk. That he keeps his promises forever. What promise is he talking about? Hashemer emes la'olam. That he keeps his promise. What is it? He writes, "Sheshemer hevtachasei lizman rav." He keeps his promises for a long time. Just like he did to the Jewish people, shehatichem loitziim min hagalos. Right? I think he's talking about Mitzrayim, right? That he, or maybe even this galus now. It's the same concept, right? That he promised to take us out of galus. Va'acher shehayu sham zman rav. After it was a very long time, ad shenashu kol hagayim. That all the goyim, everyone else, kind of gave up, right? In Mitzrayim, that happened, right? They did the whole counting thing, right? About a certain amount of years that the Jewish people had to be in, and once they realized that was up, their God left them, right? And they kind of relaxed a little bit and thought they're gonna have the Jews forever, right? Hashem waited until the Mitzrayim gave up. Until then, then right then and there, Otziim, he took them out, so that we could realize that no, it's all from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And I think it's an amazing thing to focus on when you read this pasuk. Hashem emes la'olam, right? And it's a great Jewish concept. The fact that we're still here, Netanel, right? We're still here after everything that has happened to us, especially nowadays with this new Zoran coming in and the anti-Semitism. If you look at the history of the Jewish people, everything from the Holocaust all the way to the Romans and the Greeks and the Spanish Inquisition and all the nations that have risen up and made a big noise and tried to destroy us, and now they're all gone. You look beautiful. And now they're all gone. And we're still here. That's the promise. The fact that we're still here is remarkable. It makes absolutely no sense. It also makes no sense how involved we are in the world, right? This a little speck of dust is the center of all attention, and the fact that we still are here, it's just like, it's the greatest evidence that what we're doing is real. The fact that we are still here, it's remarkable. So think about that a little bit when you say Hashem and Emes La'olam. You focus on that promise that he said that we're never going to disappear. Hashem and Emes La'olam, and yet we are still here. Focus on that when you daven. To give you a little bit of inspiration. Okay, further on in this pasuk, there is, let's go to the Gemara first. There's a Gemara, right? It says, Hashem created the world, right? There's a Gemara in Yerushalmi, in Brachos. It says, Rav Zera Brei Rav Abayu, that, what does it mean? Ashrei she'el Yaakov be'ezrei, the Goymer, and it finishes after Oiseh Shemayim ba'aretz. Because the Gemara writes that you could have a king, right? And a king sends out certain people to do his work, right? In this city, in this province over here. But if you're able to send the shliach to control this city, but you don't have another shliach to control the other city or to conquer the other city, or if you could, you could be controlling the land, but you can't necessarily control the sea. But with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's everything. That's he's a patron everywhere. He has shluchim to do his work from top to bottom, right? Everywhere in the world. You want it, and it also follows up with what we were just talking about, right? We said we don't trust in people, right? The fact that Oiseh Shemayim Ba'aretz, that Hashem created the world and has his patrons, his shluchim in every last little corner of the earth to do what he intends for us. How could you trust the creation or the creator? Right? It's very simple. Do you trust the creations or the creator? I think you trust the creator. The Gemara continues and it says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu shel b'yam v'shel b'yabasha, and in the land and in the water, across the entire world. And there's many stories through Tanakh that show us this. Matzel bayam min hamayim b'yabasha min ha'esh. Hu shehitzal as Moshe mecherev parai. From the sword, he saved Moshe. His neck became like stone. Hitzilas Yonah Mimei Hadaga, right? He saved Yonah from the fish's belly, right? Get into my belly. Chananya Mishael the Ezra Mikivshan Eish, from fire. Also Avram. Daniel Mibor Arayas, and Daniel from the lions. Water, fishes, lions, fire, swords. All stories where HaKadosh Baruch Hu was able to save the day. How can you really deny that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Oiseh Shemayim Ba'aretz, can do whatever it is that you're having bitachon, whatever it is that you need from him, he can take care of it for you. I want to end off with this Sforno, right? On the words of Oiseh Shemayim Ba'aretz, it says V'lo yemanuhu davar mehem la'aseh ritzoneh, and nothing in this world can stop him from doing that as well, right? We spoke about in the mornings by the ABCDs about how in order to trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right, he has to be a strong person to be able to do that which you trust in him. But on top of that, also, as the Sforno writes, he has to be all the way on top, right? He has to be all the way. No one can stop him, right? No one can stop him. It's like kind of like when you go to your mom, right? You ask your mother, "Oh, can I have $5?" And she says no. So what do? You go to your dad. I got $5. If your mom wants to punish you, you right away you go to your father. You always try to you balance off between the two, and try to manage whatever it is you want. With HaKadosh, so who do you trust more? Oh, it depends on the situation. Sometimes you can go to your mom. Sometimes you go to your dad. Sometimes you go to your grandma. In many different places, you can get that $5 you need, right? So you can't have full trust or full belief that any one of them is going to give you the $5 because I could go to this one, I could go to that one, depending on the day, depending on the mood. But with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, only if he's the only person that can actually help you, and if you could instill that into your heart, that there's no one else to turn to. It's not like I could go to Hashem in this case and someone else in the other case. Every single time it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No one can stop him from doing his will. He is strong and no one could touch you, no one could, for good or for bad, except from him, then you could, really start to bring the concept of bitachon from your head to your heart if you focus on certain things like this. Shkoyach.